Hey everybody, welcome.
Hello.
That was real weak. Hi everybody, welcome. Okay, we're excited that y'all are here, but hello, we're excited that you're here. I am Miss Davis, Miss M. Davis, okay, and I'm the ELA teacher, and I have a 4th grade homeroom, so I teach 2 5th grade classes and 1 4th grade class.
I am Yvette Davis, not related, and I am the math teacher, and I teach 5th grade homeroom and 4th grade math, and I'm the 5th grade homeroom teacher.
Hey, I'm Marcia Odell. I teach science for 4th grade and 5th grade, and I teach language arts 4th grade.
Hi, I'm Miss Reese, way back here in the back. I'm a 4th grade homeroom. I teach social studies to both 4th and 5th grade, and I have a 5th grade math class.
All right, so we are doing personalized learning this year at Louella Elementary School for the 4th and 5th grade students. We have a band of 10 teachers working together, and we are teaching all the content areas to the students. I teach this math to 4th and 5th grade. Miss Davis, she teaches this ELA to 4th and 5th grade. Miss Odell teaches science, and Miss Reese teaches social studies, but we all teach each other's kids. Yeah, I don't teach her class a subject.
I'm not sure.
But I don't teach Miss Reese's class a subject, but they get our kids for science social studies. So it works. It works right now.
So your child has 3 teachers.
Yes.
And they may, like, for example, with Miss Reese and I, they may change.
They have 4.
Yeah, they have 4 teachers, sorry. They may change classes more times than that because of the way we have to switch, but they have the 4.
So with our personalized learning, we're providing your child with an increased voice and choice as your lessons become more individualized with the goal of becoming students who are college and career ready. Basically, the students are driving their learning. They're watching videos at home for some content areas. They come in and we're trying to teach them to tell us what they need and what they are excelling in. Your 4th and 5th grade school year will be filled with great learning opportunities, noteworthy milestones, and priceless memories. So the 4th grade team, we have Marie Davis, Caitlin Reese, Alexandra Everly, Nanette Rowe, and Odessa Johnson. And the 5th grade team is Tammy Milner, Tiffany Taylor, Marcia Odell, Yvette Quick, and Yvette Davis.
And even though we're really 4th and 5th together.
Because all of our planning time is 4th and 5th grade together, 10 teachers coming together every time. So in my math classroom, I am conducting a flipped classroom model. And some of you parents have probably gone home and watched me on the computer screen or a little device teaching a math lesson. I stay here and I record 4th and 5th grade math videos, and the students go home, and as their homework, they watch the videos. It's not just my videos they have to watch, but they have this guided plan for 4th grade has one and 5th grade has one, where they will choose from a list of different activities and different videos that they would like to watch for that standard. They pick which worksheets they want, they pick which videos they want to watch, and they practice for mastery until they have mastered the standard. Then they come to get practice from me if they want additional help, and then the students will work on the standard continuously in class until they have mastered it. Then they take a quiz with challenging questions, because these are not simple multiple choice. These are explain your answer, tell me why is this answer. And it's not just click A, B, C, or D. It's find the answer and give them a reason why that's the answer. And we take our time to grade it and make sure that the students are not just clicking an answer, but they are giving the reason why that is the correct answer. So we're challenging your child as well, and not just letting them get by with the simple multiple choice. We're giving them able to have concrete thinking abilities.
Wait, before you go on, if you back up, I don't want to jump ahead. They have a note to the learner contract one. There's a learner contract that they have in social studies. It's not just a math thing. They also have a I call it a work plan that we have in ELA. The concept's the same. We're just calling it a different title. So it looks different for each subject area, but they do have a plan of lessons and materials and things that they're expected and they're supposed to do. I don't know if you want to speak a little bit on yours.
Yeah, for like social studies, there will be like a certain block, and it'll probably have like 2 to 3 options inside that block. And sometimes it'll involve technology, sometimes it's more of a creative way, or sometimes it's like writing. And I like to let the students choose which one they best feel like will help them learn. So if they like to do technology, they can choose the technology one. If there's not technology at home, they don't have to pick that one. So it's supposed to help them learn more like the way that they want to learn.
It gives them ownership in
Yes.
what they want to do. You know, you might have a child who's musical, and this child's over here is already. Our goal is to have at least one PBL first semester, and then a PBL second semester, which is project-based learning, and then of course we'll increase it. But these are not little baby projects that, you know, we do in a week. You're talking about a minimum of 2 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on what it is that we're doing. This first project we're going to be taking on is 2 months. And most of it will be done in class, so it's not something that parents have to do. So it's not like, you know, you go home and you have to make the animal cell. There'll be things that they're doing in class. There will be homework, of course, a little bit, but it's not like something that you're going to have to do. Questions about?
Also with that, if your child has a tablet
Yes.
or an iPad or a netbook or laptop, please, they are free to bring them to math, ELA, science, or social studies. Me personally, I don't do the cell phone or the iPhone because we've had issues with students texting, and they get into things that are, when it's a big screen, I can see what's going on. And when they're on that little tiny thing, I can't see it. And we have had issues last year with previous 5th graders and 4th graders where things can get a little out of control. So just for us to protect and watch and know what's going on with your child, we ask for the bigger piece that it's at least a tablet or a laptop or a netbook because they can use it. It's 21st century. So here at Llewellyn, we're really basically bringing your child to where they are. So instead of us teaching like it's still 1946, we're teaching them like it is actually 2015. So please, they can bring their technology to class if they have it.
And just remind them to use it appropriately in class.
Oh, well,
Really
really
said
sad.
information, that's not your business. All right, this is the 5th grade rating scale. That's a little confusing because this is their first year that they're actually getting letter grades, A, B, C, D, F. You can see the scale here. It will also be on the report card. You can also see it on Infinite Campus when you guys log in. So on their papers, you'll see a percentage and a letter grade. On the report card, you'll see percentages. 4th grade is, they're still getting the 1, 2, 3, and 4 as they've been getting since kindergarten. Just to try to merge 4th and 5th grade a little bit better since we're working so closely together now, we have tried to put some percentages onto that to make it a little easier for you. So if you see that a child has a 3, which means they met the grade level standards, that's at 80 to 100%, and the 79 to 70 would mean they're approaching the standard, and then below 69% would be 1, they did not meet the standard. Just keep in mind, in order to receive a 4 on the 4th grade report card, just like kindergarten through 3rd grade, you have to be exceeding the standard, which means your child has to be meeting above grade level standards. So like if you're a 4th grader, you have to be completing 5th grade standards on grade level in order to receive a 4. But a 3 is really, so don't go home, so why didn't you get a 4? A 3 is good. A 3 means you've met the goal. You've met the standard.
And before you go on with this, they're graded papers, even in 4th grade, when you come home, you're going to see these percents. So we wanted you to understand exactly what that percent means, and also understand a student may, based on the standards we're working at or what we're doing the first 9 weeks, they may get a 3. But that doesn't automatically mean, okay, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they're at a 3. No, their work is based on what they're doing at that time. So they may be meeting the standard during that 9 weeks based on the grades that you're seeing. They're making 80s to 100s. But we've bumped up what we're doing and made ideal for the second 9 weeks. And they're just quite not making 80 to 100s. They've gone down here maybe to 70 to 79. And you're wondering, well, why did they go down? Now you kind of have a numerical understanding of where we're basing that from. Because we're grading every assignment on a grading scale, and we're translating it to what that means in terms of a standard. Make sense?
Now, you may not see this if you have younger children. You may not see this in K3. This is something we're trying on 4th grade right now because we're working so closely with 4th and 5th. So I wouldn't compare this necessarily with your kindergarten through 3rd graders. Okay?
All right, that's me. All right, so if you have a 4th grader, by the end of the year, they should be at a level S on Fountain. F&P stands for Fountain and Pinellas, our reading system that we use, okay? And it grades them, obviously, by reading level, by grade level. And so the end of 4th grade is an S, the end of 5th grade is a V, okay? And you will get, you will be notified of what this data, this information is. Some of you had me last year, you try to send home something to tell you where your child is exactly and what they're doing. It tests them on their fluency, their accuracy of words, and their comprehension. Now here's the thing, I want to stress to everybody in here. When you listen to your child read this, I know, you got to ask them questions about it. I told my students today, just because you can read a lot of words does not make you a good reader. It just makes you a good word caller. If your child's not understanding the text, they're not where they're supposed to be. So many students can read words way up here at a 7th grade level and have no clue as to what that story's saying. Well, that's thinking. That's what's saying that they understand what the story means. So I know when they were young, kindergarten, first grade, you had to read out loud, and oh, you sound great. No, now you have to challenge them to dig deeper. Not just tell you the characters. Ask those why questions. Well, why did they do that? Well, why questions make them think deeper. So if you want them to move up to these levels, you have to not just see them read, but you have to start asking them those why questions about what they read and getting them to think deeper. You can also do that with TV and movies. It's a thinking skill. So when you're watching something with your kid, ask them questions. Ask them, why do you think that happened? How do you think that happened? Make them start thinking deeper about all literacy-based content, because it will translate into what they're doing in terms of reading. AR, a 4th grade high bar goal is 110 points by the end of the year, and the 5th grade high bar goal is 135 points. Okay, so that's the high bar here. That's what we want. All of our students can do it. It averages out to maybe 3 AR points a week. Sure. I want to stress this, and I know Ms. Odell, she teaches ELA too, she can co-sign on this. Parents, the importance of AR is, we're in here teaching to the hilt, right? We have 25, 24 students, and we're doing everything we can. But it's like a football player, right? You can practice, getting stronger, you never go out and play the game. How are you getting better at what you're doing? You're just getting stronger, okay? They have to practice the skill we're teaching them. And that's what AR does. It helps them practice those skills independently that we're teaching them in class. So I stress it tremendously. They lose points for it if they're not being responsible enough to take the test. Not if they fail the test, but they're not being responsible to take it. Because I will tell you this, I had a student who might have gotten 1 AR point all last year. I tried. That student did not move up in F&P level. They didn't. How could they? They weren't practicing the skills independently. So please, we stress it because it works. It's forcing them to read those books independently and to make sure they understand. Also, when you're checking the AR, they need to have an 80% or better. They're not in K1-2 anymore. Okay? The 70s, that is not showing they understood at all. Okay? It has to be an 80 or better. Our principal has set that expectation, 80% level. So you can go in and you can check to see what they're doing. So please encourage them. They need to make it 80% because that's showing they understand. As they continue to make 80s or 100s or better, their teacher will bump them up to the next level in AR. And that's what you want. It's like lifting heavier and heavier weights because now they're getting harder and harder books.
And those nonfiction books, they cannot read a nonfiction book one time and take a test and pass it. You can't. There's too much vocabulary, there's too many facts. So if your child's reading nonfiction, which we encourage completely, they should be reading at least 3 times before they test on it, because they could, on the AR test, they could ask them anything from that book. And if they only read it one time, there's no way they have a complete understanding of the vocabulary and the concepts in that book. So fiction, depending on the length, is okay to read one time, but nonfiction should definitely be more than once before they take a test.
Back up one more. Okay, and the last thing about Accelerated Reader, also before we move on, encourage your children, and we talked about this today in ELA, to read a variety of genres and books. I was telling the kids today, one of my favorite snacks is Cheetos. You know, Cheetos, fluffy little stuff, love it, okay? But I went to the doctor one time, I had high cholesterol. And she was like, what you eating? I said, well, I eat Cheetos every day for a snack. She said, that's it. She said, because it's just fried, hot air, has no nutritional value. So it's not doing my body any good. I'm not getting any healthier. I haven't given up Cheetos. But I don't eat them every day. I eat them every once in a while. And that's what we have to tell our students. It's okay to read those fun books, those popular books that are so fun and cute. But if that's all your child is reading, they're not growing this. They're not. Okay? So if you really want them to grow this, you have to encourage them to read a variety of texts. The vocabulary is different. It's higher. Those everyday social books, they're talking in the kid's language. So how is your child's vocabulary increasing if the book is speaking in kid language? Can you hold up that book you have right there, Ms. Kadori? Okay, this is one of our Reading Bowl books. The vocabulary in the book is going to increase your child's vocabulary because it's going to challenge them to speak, to think in a different way. So that's what I want to stress with AR. If you see them always checking out a certain kind of book, encourage them to read something different, to stretch them, okay? Because if not, they're not going to grow that vocabulary. It's not just read anything anymore. That's not good enough. We're past just read anything. It's what we want them to read now.
Real quick, can I ask?
Yes.
The non-fictional and fiction books. So you guys aren't regulating when they go to pick a certain particular book? They just choose whatever they want? As
They-
long as it's in-
They do. For those in my class, Ms. Davis's class, if you're a fifth grader, one of your books for this first semester must be a narrative, simply because we are looking at narrative strategies. We're looking at all the thinking skills related to narrative text. So at least one of their books has to be narrative, okay? Fourth graders, one of their books has to be informational, because we're spending this first semester focusing on informational text and thinking strategies for that, okay?
Are there books like listed in those categories, or how's that? So if I tell Sabi, go and find the narrative book.
He'll know exactly what it is.
You know, they're somewhere listed, or he has a way to look at
And
it.
and if you don't, they can always ask what's the media specialist when they go in,
Okay.
where can I find a narrative, and they can point them right for it.
Because that'd be the next question you'd ask. Okay, good, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, math. My favorite subject.
Because
All
she's so
right.
good at it. I had to tell the story on Miss Davis. I had a student last year who was like, I think Miss Davis has a calculator in her desk, and that's how she uses it.
I do. So we have a countywide math assessment called GLOSS, and the fifth grade level for that is level 7, and the fourth grade level for that is level 6. Now, GLOSS is where we ask the students from this book right here. They have this little flip book in front of them, and we're glossing the students now, and we ask them questions. Some of them are word problems. It starts off real easy. 5 plus 2, 7, good job. 8 plus 6, 14. Well, how'd you get that? Oh, I use the standard algorithm. Is there another way you can do that? I count on my fingers. Is there another way you can do that? And they're probably like, I told you like 3 different ways to do it. But what we want them to do with GLOSS is to use that mental math. 8 plus 6 is 14. I broke 6 into 2 and 4. I took 2 from that and gave it to 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Then I took 10 and added with the remaining 4. I got 14. There you go. Next question. And that's how we move up. The kids have to be able to mentally process math problems in their head, because it's going to build that fluency with them. If the students are counting on their fingers, doing this right here, doing this, they love to put their hands under the table and tap on the table, and I hear it. When I said put your hands on the table, you have to put it all in your head. Simple things I would tell my kids last year. When you're riding in the car with mom and dad, why don't you go ahead and add up the license plate in your head so you can do it the quickest. My dad is a math person. That was a game we used to play when we go on vacation. He'll say, add that license plate number up. I add them up, just like that in my head. I can see where GLOSS will benefit the students, because if they're able to sit there and do mental computation in their head, just imagine the heights they can go with math. I have a lot of students this year talking about going to Georgia Tech for engineering. You have to get this GLOSS strategy down. You have to know how to mentally process some basic math in your head. I'm not saying do trig or calculus in your head, because who can do that? But you have to be able to add and subtract simple numbers, multiply simple numbers in your head. Once you get that foundational math and you're not able to pull out a piece of paper or count on your fingers, that math is going to go up, and I promise you it will. You have to challenge your kids with this adding and subtracting basic facts in their head. The math CFA score is a goal for the end of the year is at 85%. They take it 3 times a year, beginning of the year, mid of the year, and the end of the year. And it's basically a multiple choice, sometimes true and false questions, math questions on their grade level, and they answer it, and it's basically over the standards that they're going to be learning for their grade level for the entire year. 5th grade ALEKS goal, they have to have 266 topics. So they have to completely fill their pie chart by the end of the year. ALEKS is a really good math program that we use here at Luella. It's not required to be purchased for 4th grade. We do encourage students to purchase it. 5th grade, it is required because it's such a good program. And there's some math programs that I don't even care for, like Cool Math. Give it Cool Math? No Cool Math Day, no. ALEKS, First in Math, there's other math programs that I found and I have on my website the kids can use. These are games that I play. If I don't like playing it, I know the kids won't like playing it because I'm a kid myself. I love to play math games, and it doesn't hold my attention. I know it's not going to hold the kids' attention. So I'm very particular about what the kids play, and it's going to benefit them. Cool Math is cool, but I really don't see any growth from my students when they play that continuously. But ALEKS, it challenges them. It gives them not just click A, B, C, or D questions. It's type in your answer. They have to actually work it out. And a lot of the kids, they get to a point, they start computing the stuff in their head. And I mean, division problems, you'll ask your child, once they get to that level, they'll be able to do that stuff in their head with no problem. It'll surprise you, surprise me once they get to that level, because I know they can do it. First, the math goal, we have adjusted the goal this year simply because a little late on getting the first math program for the county. So the goal was originally 4th grade 7,000 stickers, and for 5th grade it was 8,500. But for 4th grade now, the first math sticker count goal is going to be 6,000 stickers by the end of the year. And 5th grade is going to be 7,500. So we're just took it down 1,000 stickers. So you're welcome. So the kids like it. And one more thing with math, I want to stress this. With math, I am very, very critical when it comes to taking assessments. I don't like for the students to say, oh, I did it in my head. The base math gloss, adding 8 plus 6, yes, I expect you guys to do that in your head. And when we have a numerical expression, the sum of 8 plus 3 times 2 divided by 7 to the 3rd power, you can't tell me you did that in your head, because I have to pull out paper and pencil to sometimes do that stuff. When I'm grading a math test that I have, the students have to show work. If I don't see work, I'm going to think that you just pull out a calculator or you're just guessing. Some kids are really good guessers, even when it's not multiple choice. But I tell my students, a good mathematician is someone that can be able to prove why their answer is correct. If you cannot prove why your answer is correct and you cannot tell me how you got your answer, then you don't know what it is, you don't know how to do it. A good mathematician is able to tell me the steps. And the Georgia Milestones, they have some Georgia Milestone type questions they ask, where the students have to explain why that's the answer. It's not just all multiple choice. Beginning, first time, it was a lot of multiple choice questions. As the years go on, they're going to take away multiple choice and add in a lot of open response, true and false. Tell me why this is the answer. Explain your thinking. So in math, the kids are really working on telling me why. Because I say, what's the answer? 74. Good. How do you know? Well, because I worked it out. Well, what are your steps? Well, they can do it, but they can explain it to me. It's not just verbally explaining. You have to be able to know that math vocabulary to write it down in word form. So when your children are doing math problems at home or watching a video, and especially my videos, and I give a problem, and they can explain the steps and why they're doing it, and why you have to do this before you do that, and why you use PEMDAS, and you have to do multiplication, division, and sentence together, because when you have multiplication, division left, you have to move from left to right when you're working it out. There's a reason why, and I tell them the reason why. So they have to be able to explain it and defend their thinking. If they can't defend their thinking, it's not going to push them to that level of higher thinking of math.
Okay. Science. All right, here are our 5th grade science curriculum units. Right now we're working on cells. Next we'll have microorganisms, genetics and heredity and classification. That's all under the band of life science. Earth science, we do constructive and destructive forces. That would be like volcanoes, earthquakes, erosion. Physical science, mass, parts and wholes, properties and changes of matter and electricity and magnetism. 4th grade, our units are stars and star patterns, solar system, weather data and forecasting, light, sound, force, mass and motion, simple machines, effects of gravity, ecosystems, food webs and food chains, adaptation, survival, extinction, and right now we're currently working on ecosystems in 4th grade. We desperately need 2-liter bottles. I know your kids have probably, because I beg them every day, please bring your 2-liter bottles, because we're making eco columns right now that will contain a terrarium and an aquarium within the one system, and we have to have 3 2-liter bottles to make 1 eco column. So before you throw those in the trash can, if you'll send those our way, we can use them in our science lab for our units. For science, mostly I just want to say you have to study. Once you get to 4th and 5th grade, they can understand that dinosaurs went extinct or that the tiger eats the zebra, but it's the vocabulary. You have to study the vocabulary, because they may completely understand the concept but not be able to answer the questions because they don't understand the vocabulary or get those words mixed up. So they're at that point now where they're going to have to study. And again, that's why, Ms. Reese and I really don't give science and social studies homework, because we want them studying that vocabulary. We want them studying those concepts. Because what's gonna happen is if they wait till the night before the test, there's no way. I mean, it's just impossible. The science books, both of them are online. If you go to my website, you can find the link to both the 4th grade textbook and the 5th grade textbook. So all of it, so if your child comes home and they forgot their science journal, they forgot their textbook, it's okay, it's online. You can just go on there and find all the vocabulary, they can study straight from there. If you can keep up with the vocabulary, then toward the end, when I give you the study guide about a week and a half, 2 weeks before the test, then you'll have no trouble understanding the concepts in relationship to the vocabulary. And I keep saying that because, guys, there's a lot of vocabulary. Same thing with social studies.
Yes, in social studies, our 4th grade standards are connecting themes. That's kind of like culture, things along those lines, how they relate to us in our standards. Then the discovery of North America, that's like the Native Americans and the European explorers that are coming over. The colonization of North America, like 13 colonies, forming a new nation. Challenges of the new nation, expansion of the new nation, like westward expansion, our American government, and being responsible spenders from learning our past. And then for 5th grade, the connecting themes, same as like 4th grade. And then we start straight off with the Civil War. Then we'll go to the Reconstruction, westward expansion. And then we'll do World War I, some geography based off of that. Great Depression. Then we go straight into World War II, civil rights, and then America's role in the 21st century. And with like social studies, they definitely have to study because it's mainly facts. Like there's a lot of things like the battles. Yes, you may know the names of the battles, but what happened in that battle? I don't want you to just be able to tell me, oh yeah, I remember about the Appomattox courthouse. Like that's cool. But what about it? Why was that so important? Or like with the Native American tribes, we're learning about 6 of them right now. Can you tell me the difference? Why are there like similarities and differences with like the Inuits and the Pawnee tribe? Why? We're looking to go more in depth. So I'm trying to have like with our learning contracts, things that actually make them think. It's not going to be as easy like each time. I want them to have to think about why the tribes are so different. Why does the Inuits wear like heavy clothing? Why do the Hopis have like clothing made out of like cool cloth? Like what's the difference? Why? So, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How to help them study. So for example, we had the people and we were asking the questions based on that. So when you talk about the differences between the tribes and stuff, is there kind of a, what I call a parent cheat sheet that can help study?
I just start working on something like that and be able to like send it out for y'all.
Yeah, I'm just saying just to try to how to ask those questions that I don't know the answers to.
I could definitely do that. No, I
Andrew, can you
understand.
provide it, please?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I could do that.
I have no shame.
One more thing with 5th grade and 4th grade science, I wanted to say we have at least 1 lab per week. So science is very hands-on. So sometimes you might see us ask for materials for a lab. Most of the stuff we already have, so you won't see it very often. But sometimes we will ask. So just kind of keep that in mind. We try to keep it engaging.
It's not my phone. It's a home I tried to answer earlier and it wasn't my phone.
Oh!
It's yours. I already answered the one.
If we can start to wrap up the first session and move on to the second session. Parents, please, if you do not have a second session, if you'll go by one of the computer labs and take the quick survey, that would be helpful. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna talk fast.
Yes, we're gonna bring some things.
Right. Georgia milestones. You know the CRCT is out the door, and we have the Georgia milestones. The Georgia milestones, 4th graders took it on a computer, and 5th graders, they did paper and pencil. I believe this year 4th graders are taking it on the computer again.
No, this
They're not.
year your 5th graders will take it because in 4th grade we train them, they know how to take it on the computer. So 5th grade is definitely computerized. 4th grade, the district does not know yet.
And it's going to be not just multiple choice, but open-ended questions. They have to explain their thinking in all content areas, not just math, not just social studies, some science. All content areas are going to have some multiple choice. Some of the questions have a part A and a part B. There's 2 parts to it. And sometimes with math, they have part A, part B, part C, part D. And the answer you give for part A goes to part B. What you give for part B, you need the correct answer to do part C and then part D. So it will make these kids think, and we're giving them questions like that to prepare them. Not every test will have that type of question on there, but we'll have 1 or 2 to show the kids, and we're teaching them how to answer those type of questions, what to look for. And on my website, I have Georgia Milestone link and a park assessment link, which is kind of like what the Georgia Milestones adapted their assessment from. And the questions on there are amazing. Mrs. Kadori, I had you with your son last year, and he used the website. And it is helpful, you guys, I promise you. The links that we have on our websites are useful.
Scores will come out this year around October. So if the child did it last year, it's committed. It's the first time. We're not the only one. I have friends in Florida that haven't gotten theirs back yet either. So the reason why is they have to make the benchmarks. Think about it. It's the first time the test is made, so they have to create what the cutoffs are based on what every kid in the state of Georgia did. So that's why it's taking a while.
We also have student-led conferences that will be coming up in November. Behavior, we use Class Dojo. We've asked a lot of parents to sign up for it. A lot of parents have signed up for it. Please, if your child has not signed up for it, you have not signed up for it, it is a wonderful means of communication. We send out a lot of notifications on Class Dojo. A lot.
And it's free.
And it's free. It's a free app. And you can go to the website and check your child's behavior. I've had parents that have sent me pictures of a homework assignment one time and asked me questions about it. And it's a really good means of communication. Some of the teachers have the app on their phone. Others may have to go to the website to check the messages. But we are able to, as a team, give and take away points to the students based on behavior and based on whether they're being responsible, keeping up their homework, turning in things on time, getting things signed by you guys. They're going to get some Dojo points for you guys come to curriculum night tonight, and they're really excited about that because they want those Dojo points. So it is a really good behavior tool that we are using for the students.
Visit your kids' teacher's website.
We don't have it all.
Yeah, you'll find all kinds of information there. You can just go to Luella and find the links to it.
Yes.
All right, graded papers go home weekly. Please sign your child's agenda, and if you haven't signed up for IC, visit the office to get your code, or you can do it by following the online process.
And if you sign up for Infinite Campus, we're able to view your child's grades. And we're slowly moving towards paperless report cards and progress reports. So having that IC and being able to get in those kids' grades, that is important. So I know you want those IC codes.
Any questions?
Any quick questions? Ready?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget to sign in if you have not already.
Yes, so your kids can get their points. They get the Dojo points. You guys sign in.
Yes.
I'm Jaden Milner.
Yes.
I know. He's going in class. But I know he don't turn in stuff on time. But
Yeah. When he's actually like trying, he blows it out of the water. But there's times where I've had to move him because he's more interested in someone around him than actually doing his work. But when he does it,
okay.
he does just fine. And that's why I'm like, you've got to do this.